This is Darren. Can you believe what that looks like? Just rewind it and look at that again. That half of the Millennium Falcon is still the same size as the UCS version, and it's almost a foot wider. Well, on this one, I am redoing some of that main room, and a couple of things I wanted to do was those two arches are the access point into the front section of the Millennium Falcon. You never get to see that in the movie, and you never get to see that's the way they get into that escape pod in the front. But also that little bunk that sits right beside those arches is actually the bunk that Luke was brought back from when in Cloud City. And it's like a little med bunk. I always thought they were in like a crew quarters when he was in that bunk, but it's not. It's this lounge area where everything focuses. Another thing I wanted to change was the hallway. Those hallways are so difficult to build. I tried the first arch from the old Millennium Falcon. I didn't like it, so I decided just completely redo it. And that's what I'm doing along with the hallway. The hallway is a monster unto itself. It's very difficult to get the curve, for one, the floor to work with that curve, and the area big enough that you can still put minifigs in it. Sorry if this was the part you were interested in, me building this part out. I just kind of sped through the floor because it's pretty much just support and cross connections. It's hard to see from this angle, but that floor is floating almost 3 to 4 inches off the floor itself. Back to this corridor, I wanted the floor to kind of take the same angle as this corner, and the only way I could do that was to use the single knob, the round Lego pieces to kind of spread out and use longer flat pieces. And I got an okay effect out of it. I like it, but it's still maybe one day I'll change it, but it works for now. The old version of this hallway, I had connected each individual panel to the floor of it, and it was always unclicking, always coming apart, and there was always some space in there where if you try to put a minifigure in there, you'd hit the wall and the wall would pop out a little bit. I always hated that about this section right here. So I tried a couple of different versions, and this one that I came up with was one of the best. It had a nice curve to it. I could use larger panels, and it had like maybe 2 to 3 connection points that made it really secure, and I liked that. I probably mentioned it before, but those tan pieces, oh my gosh, they are just impossible to find enough of the flat stuff. I had to buy a complete other set just to have enough of those to do the hallways. This redesign of the corridor walls, as you can see, is a lot beefier. I mean, this thing gets really part intensive. Just this one section of wall is probably reaching up to almost 300 parts, maybe. Another thing that I did with these walls is I made sure when I was building it off of the platform, unattached, is I made sure to try to take into account both sides, the inside of the corridor wall and then the back side, which I knew I was going to add a lot more systems and like array sensors and stuff like that are hidden in the wall along that section. The blueprints just show a ton of different functions for little parts and engines and motors and stuff there in the wall. And I love building that stuff. So I wanted to give myself space and connections so that I could add a lot more and more elaborate, but also visible. So when you're looking at it, you could see all the different sections, different motors, different things connected to the wall and to the backside of the corridor walls. And then this last part is me topping out and putting more instrument panels and stuff like that in that circuitry bay. As always, I appreciate every view, every comment, every like. Thank you for following along. More to come. This is Darren.